everybody, and welcome to another JC Live. I'm your host, Dwayne Dunleavy, and I'm so excited today because today we're kind of delving into the Midwest, which we haven't really done yet before. And I happen to be doing that myself physically. I'm going from Philadelphia to Cleveland over the next month or so, and have noticed that there's a huge shift in the world from the Northeast, which has always been this huge kind of entertainment. Of course, you got New York, Philadelphia, Boston, all this kind of stuff, toward the interior of the country. All of the Midwest has become this huge, burgeoning, like explosion of all kinds of amazing stuff, entertainment being one of them. So today we're going to be talking to some JC alumni from Chicago and find out the exciting things that they're doing in their careers. I believe all of them actually started either right before or during the pandemic and have been able to really continue and make things better. And I actually believe that the pandemic did that for a lot of us, and myself included. It kind of put a fire under our butts to be like, you know what, even if you're stuck at home and nobody's allowed out or whatever, there's things you can do. And it kind of like rustled things up for us. So we're so excited to have three people today. And actually, why don't I just start bringing them out? First, I'm going to bring out, she is a model. She's in an amazing music video with someone that you all know. I won't mention that yet to keep it as a surprise. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first guest, Megan Bargell. Hello, Megan. I don't know if you're there yet. There you are.
Hello.
How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
Great. So you are our first guest today, and you live in Chicago. And tell us a little bit about how you got started with JC.
Yeah, so I graduated from GC about a year ago. I found the program just through social media, and I was really interested in it because, as Dwayne mentioned, I started modeling and acting before the pandemic. And after that, in the midst of that, it was kind of difficult to find work and to really strengthen and enhance my modeling and acting skills. So I took a leap of faith and joined JC, and I've learned so much through that process. And I'm so excited for all that I've accomplished thus far and can't wait to see what the future holds.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've worked with JC for 15 years. I can't even believe it. I know I don't even look 15 years old, but it's true. Yeah, for 15 years, I've watched people go from like not knowing anything about the business to kind of opening up and, finding out everything that you can to then see if you want to be in the business. I think that's the beauty of JC, is that you can dip your toe in all these little areas and see, is this for me? And if it's not, I always let people know the skills that you learn at JC are skills that you can use anywhere. Like if you want to become the manager of a department store and you know your colors that look good and how to present yourself and how to speak in front of people, you're going to do much better than somebody that doesn't have that skill. So it's not like coming to JC, if you don't become an actor or a model, it's all for waste. You know what I mean? Do you feel like you've learned some skills that are kind of universal?
Absolutely. And even though I started modeling and acting before classes with JC, I feel like I've learned how to enhance those skills even more. So I've been able to learn how to maybe perform different styles of acting, whether it's serious or comedy or things like that. And as you mentioned, I can apply that to my everyday life because it's important in, a retail job to be able to communicate with people, have personality, and show that versatility. So yeah, I've really learned a lot of different skills.
And that's a really good point. Like sometimes people do come to us who have no clue what's going on. And then there are
Right.
people that come to us who have been in the industry before, and maybe they don't understand yet how to do self tapes and things like that, which we're
Right.
going to get into a little bit more about that. And if you're someone who's watching who's really wondering about the self tape process and all that, we're going to get into that definitely. Now, Megan, we have some exciting news that you told me. I'm so excited. You were recently in a music video. I will leave it to you to tell us who it was with, and also a little bit about the experience.
Yeah, so I was recently in a music video called Swish by Vic Mensa, Chance the Rapper, and G-Eazy. It took place in Chicago, and it was so much fun. It was truly an amazing experience. I spent the day with my fellow models and actors, and it was just so much fun. We listened to the songs, we socialized just and really had fun in the music video. It was a great way to show a personality, show some fun. Everyone on set was so amazing, and it was overall a really, really great experience. And I'd love for everyone to check out the video. You might find me in a restaurant scene, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But yeah, it was so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome. Now, if people want to follow you, where can they find you on social media, etc.?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, all just Megan Bargal, my name, just put together.
Awesome. All right. Now, if you had, let's say, the wish or a wish for your career, what would your like most amazing outcome be for this career?
So I love all things hair, makeup, fashion. So I would love to be on the cover of Vogue. I see myself in a super glamorous outfit, hair and makeup, the full production. And I just love to be creative and show that confidence that I really have gained throughout the years.
That's awesome. I know. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm probably 98.3% sure that we're going to look back at this recording, in not too long and see you on that cover. And we're going to zoom in on you saying, I'd like to be on the cover of Vogue. That's great. And
I
Megan,
hope so.
you are a Virgo, right?
Yes.
So and that's another good quality of Virgos is they make a goal and they make it happen and they don't let anything get in their way. They're just like, we're going to do this. Awesome. All right. Well, stick with us while I bring on some more of our guests today. My next guest is he is an actor and model. He is also in Chicago. He has a lifestyle clothing brand, like so much stuff to tell us about. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kenny Smith. Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Hi, how y'all doing today?
Great. Thank you for joining us. We have Megan with us, who I believe you know, right?
Yeah, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
Now, right off the bat, we'll let people know you are a Cancer. You're born in July.
Correct.
So, I have so much, I put astrology kind of in everything, although I don't run my life by it or believe it to the point where it's like my whole life, but I do find it really interesting, So
me too. I'm a pretty nervous.
Yeah. Oh, really cool. Yeah. And it's coming back in a big way. In the 70s, it was huge. And then 80s and 90s, people were like, now it's coming back. And I like to let students know too. Astrology is a great topic because it's not politics, sex, anything, religion that will be, controversial. But everybody has a birthday and it's a nice light topic. So it's great to talk to casting directors, to auditioners, any type of people. If you want to start a conversation, it's a great conversation starter. So, but anyway, let's talk about you because I'm so excited to find out about, first of all, let's talk about the lifestyle clothing brand because, we always have models and actors, but you're taking it to a whole other level. So tell us a little bit about Master of Original.
Yeah, like you said, it's a lifestyle clothing brand. We do hoodies, beanies, t-shirts, shorts, sweatpants. We got socks. We're just the meaning behind it is to be a master of your own originality, just encouraging people to be an individual. Don't be afraid to be different, be unique, be weird, and just be yourself. Embrace who you are and then evolve into who you truly are supposed to be in life.
That's amazing. I mean, that's the kind of thing that people, if they really put their mind to something, and you're a great example of this. You said to yourself, not only do I have this idea, I want to get out to people about originality, but then you came up with an original idea to show how to be. I mean, like that's what people need to be doing, not like, oh, discover me and put me in something. Like do it, like make it happen, right?
No, for sure. I agree 100%.
I just took a quick screenshot. I just want to show our viewers a little like what the website looks like because maybe they're not able to see. But of course, I can't pull it up right now for some reason. All right, well, masteroforiginal.com is actually I'll put that up so that people can check that out. That is the website if you guys want to go and check that out. It's a really cool
website. Instagram name as well.
Oh, awesome. And you're on and you have actually a movie coming out on Tubi, right? That you were in?
Yes, it's actually already out. It came out in December. It's called Cameron. I got a small supporting role in it, and I'm just looking to continue to build my resume and grow as an actor.
Now, even a small part, as we know, as you know now, is so educational. Can you tell us a little
Oh,
bit about what it was like being in that, experience?
you get to learn from other actors, see how they do things, pick up their techniques. You also get to network. You get to just be a sponge and learn how behind the scenes stuff goes. That's one of my favorite parts, is just watching behind the scene, like standing behind the director, see what they see, and understand the type of guidance and what they're looking for.
Yeah, now when people get started at JC, one of the things I like to let them know is that, up until the point where you decide to get into the entertainment business, you're basically trained as a viewer, as a person who sits at home or in a movie theater or whatever and watches something, and all of the magic is happening. But when you do decide to get into the business, it's like a curtain is pulled back and they are showing you, and basically that's what we do at JC, is to show you behind that curtain that people don't just come up with a monologue in the moment. You find it, you practice it, you figure out what each word means, all of that. Is that how you felt when you started going through the process? Like, did you feel like things were kind of opened that you hadn't noticed before?
Yeah, for sure. With JC classes, they taught us from improv to doing commercials, monologues, even runway turns. So from learning industry resumes and just industry verbiage. So it was a lot of knowledge, and it was very beneficial.
Yeah, I'll bet. I mean, it's amazing to watch so many different experiences happen, and then when people get into the business after, it's cool to see. Now, we were also talking about the pandemic and how that kind of changed things for us. A lot of auditions are self-tape auditions now, and that's basically, we kind of show you really in detail how to do that at JC. Do you do auditions like on a daily basis in that respect, like by doing
I would
self-tapes and
say
stuff?
I do at least 2 to 3 a week.
Wow.
Daily, I'm on Backstage, Actors Access, and Casting Networks, just self-submitting. So I encourage everyone, even after you graduate, and even if you do sign with an agency, still self-submit and promote yourself. You're your biggest marketer. So if you don't promote yourself, who truly will? So I self-submit to things daily, and then sometimes I would just get the part right out, or they'll reach back out and ask for a self-tape reading a script, or ask for a monologue or something that I've done previously. So it's just all practice for me, and I enjoy it. I have fun with
Yeah.
it. It's just sharpening your tools in your toolbox.
Yeah. And how would you say, Megan, has auditioning been for you? Have you been finding that you're doing weekly auditions and go-sees, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the same way. I would say I do at least 1 to 2 a week. But other than that, I'm always looking up castings online or on social media. And as we kind
Yeah.
of talked about previously, I think it's really important to look towards the future as well. So
Mhm.
if I know there's an event towards the end of the year, I'll start thinking about that now and start preparing
Yeah.
up. What can I do to prepare myself to enhance my resume even more to hopefully help me achieve those goals in the future too.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, you guys are in the Chicago area, and so
Mhm.
what people need to understand is that they need to figure out where they are and how that kind of works with things. If you're in LA, it's a different story. If you're in Arizona, it's a different story. We talked a little bit about the growth of the Midwest, as a whole. Basically, even I've heard Kansas City has become this huge hub for all kinds of stuff. It's kind of amazing, and things that people that never thought about these areas like this before.
Mhm.
Speaking of which, let me bring out another one of our guests, our final guest today. He has you can find him all over Instagram. He's an actor, and he is another alumni of JC from Chicago. Welcome, Brian Yeager. Hi, Brian.
Hi, Dwayne. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. And Brian is in Aries. So we got some fire now to go along with our water and earth. And now we're making mud. No, I'm just kidding. That's what I said earlier. But No, we're doing this is actually really good astrologically, this group. And as you can tell already, we've gotten some really great descriptions of what it's like kind of, being a JC student, breaking into the business, that kind of thing. What was your experience, Brian?
So I had started out being a teacher and a financial advisor. Graduating from college, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Knowing
Mhm.
that I had a passion for performing since middle school, when I did my first middle school play, I came to the realization that I needed to take the risks and I needed to make this a career that I wanted to do. So I started trying to figure out, being in Chicago, what were the things that I needed to do. And then that's where I found John Casablancas, and I connected with the agency in the Chicago area and wanted to take classes through them and learn about the ins and outs of the industry.
That's awesome, and actually a really interesting story that happens quite a bit. People are in other industries, they feel comfortable in a whole other arena, and then they think, what about that time I thought about maybe being an actor or a model? And that's a great place to be. I know that that probably causes a lot of fear in people, like right away, like, how can I do this? Or, sometimes people in their 50s and 60s join this entertainment field, and believe it or not, they do really well in this industry. People think that your career is over at 40, but that's only if you're some kind of supermodel star that only is known for their looks or whatever. As you get older
Mhm.
in this business, you can have a really great, bountiful career. And I know some people that are, doing that. I think it's because of the amount of people in that arena.
Yeah.
And that's another big part of this business, is learning what category do you fit in. I know right now there's a million people in my particular category, but when my hair turns gray and I'm in my 60s, I move to a different category where there's a lot less people, and so my chances go way up.
Yeah.
So how has it been in the Chicago area, Brian, with the auditioning? We talked to Kenny and Megan a little bit about that, but
Mhm.
how about for you? What's it been like for you?
Yeah. I think one of the good things about being in the industry today is that you just have so much more breadth of media. I mean, look at the onset of streaming. You have all these large streaming services that they're just churning out project and project, and with that comes opportunity. And that's starting to, you see that inspire younger filmmakers and student filmmakers, and just showing that anyone can like create a project and find a means to produce it, distribute it. However, and I think, one of my fears in Chicago is thinking, well, it's not New York or LA, those are the
Yeah.
big media hubs, but just seeing like, okay, well, how do I self-submit and where do I need to go to find those opportunities? And then
Yeah.
with the help of John Casablancas is just learning about these sites, and then going on these sites, and then just filling in what your filters are and seeing what are going to be the roles that fit me best, and then just seeing like this list of opportunities. I think has been really unprecedented, if it were like any other time, like I said.
Mhm.
So it's been very similar to what Kenny's been saying.
Yeah.
I find myself self-submitting a lot,
Mhm.
working with John Casablancas and the other agency that I've signed to, who have helped me find other opportunities. So
Mhm.
I've had luck being able to get those opportunities or submit for those opportunities, and then just being able to take what I can get.
Yeah, it's actually made things really unbelievably equitable to everybody, because you have the chance to show what you can do. And like Kenny said earlier, you can perfect your video before you send it in. Used to be you had to go to the audition. If you went in there and you weren't happy, that's it, it's over with. Now you can do
Mhm.
20, 30 takes at home and send the best version, and they don't know, it's the first one to the people watching it. And as we know, this is a business of, if it looks good, then it works. You could be shaking, scared, ready to, pass out. But if you look good and you're doing right, and it looks like you're comfortable, that's all that really matters. So
So I'm gonna
now,
sorry, I want
yeah,
to say I do want to play devil's advocate, because I
yeah,
don't, and maybe other actors have this view. I am not a huge fan of self tapes. understanding that being like the industry standard. Obviously that was something that the industry learned and adapt, and it's something actors
Yeah.
learn as skill sets. I think from a technical aspect, a lot of great things to learn about it, how to frame yourself, how to work on your presence, and get like a little bit of feedback. But I
Yeah.
think the way that I've kind of learned, or how I've kind of learned my style, is like I personally like going to the audition and giving one performance. And
Yeah.
I think it's a little
I
bit.
enjoyed it too.
I think it's a little bit of the perfectionist in me that I could do
Yeah.
take after take, and it's just not for me. I don't think it'll just ever be good enough because I'm just gonna do like take 30, take 40, and I'll just keep doing it, and I just don't think it'll
Yeah.
ever be enough. So I like preparing, doing the auditioning or the rehearsal process, and then just going and giving what I feel is like my best, and hoping that I did the best, and kind of walking away with that satisfaction, like, you know what, I did give my best. So that's just my personal opinion on it. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I actually feel the same way. I'm a live performer. I do stand up. I've written many shows, and I enjoy the process of going, sitting with other actors in the waiting room, talking about upcoming stuff that you wouldn't get otherwise. Working sometimes, in a lot of audition commercial or auditions that I did in my 20s, now I'm in my late 40s. So this was way back. But they would, you'd go in with 5 people. I remember a Wendy's commercial. We went in 5 people, and I had the cold read script in front of me, the sides in front of me, and they told us to just throw that out and improvise like we were behind the counter at a Wendy's. And I swear to you, I think they created the whole commercial from our improv that day. They didn't choose any of us for the actual
But
commercial.
it show your idea.
But they took the idea from our improv we did, and it was a great experience for me as well. So I mean, I really love that too, but I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think that because people now have saved so much on gas, time, energy to get these, and to be in a place like Walla Walla, Washington, and to be able to audition for something in New York, is kind of mind blowing because it's never been that way before, But what comes along with that, part of the dark side is now that we've got this ability, now there's way more people in the pool. There's way more people being considered for everything. So you really have to stand out, and not by being a crazy mess, but by being really good and really authentic. I think authenticity is the cream of all of this stuff that's been happening over the past few years, is that everybody can now sniff out a BSer. Like, people can tell if someone's just trying to sell something but doesn't believe it, or is just trying to get something. But if you're an authentic person who can put energy through that camera, that's the gold. You know what I mean? Well, Kenny, I didn't ask you yet, but what would be your total ultimate wish? Oh, wait, did I talk to you, Kenny, about this yet?
No, I haven't given it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Tell us what your ultimate wish would be if you could have any wish in this career.
Would just to be consistently booked, either let it be movies, national commercials, even web series. I background work, print model. I don't want to limit myself. I want to do it all, and then get it to where I'm secure financially with that I can invest into my company, and then that company could provide jobs and give back to the communities that it's in.
That's awesome. That's a nice cycle of stuff going on that not only creates your career, but it helps the people around. And I think that's a great way to go. I feel the same way. I'd love to have a school or like a place where people can come to create, recorded materials, like a studio, I guess is what I'm, inventing. And how about you, Brian? What would be your ultimate wish if I were a genie and could grant you anything?
It would be very, very similar to Kenny's, is to be a consistently working actor. I've always kind of given the advice, don't shoot for fame. That's not what I want to take out of this. But within the work of being consistently booked and working is really just to create roles that are meaningful, things that I can tie to, and ultimately bring that truth through to make meaningful work, meaningful projects, whether that be, film, television, theater, and like you highlighted, to bring authenticity to, whatever character that I play, no matter how big or how small.
Yeah. And, you guys all being from Chicago, it dawned on me that, there's some really huge things that have happened in Chicago in the entertainment business. One being, that's where Oprah Winfrey started and was there for 25
Mhm.
years. So there's a huge studio setup, I believe, infrastructure in Chicago with lots of talk shows and things like that. I mean, back in the 80s and 90s. I don't understand, of course, yet Chicago in the entertainment side of things, but you guys are getting all different types of work. So do you find that you see a lot of the same people in your travels, or is it really like a big, because I have no idea what to even, think about it. How about, let's start with you, Megan. What would you say on that?
Yeah, I think it's kind of a mix of both. A lot of times for runway shows or even castings, I'll find some of my same model friends that will be going out for the same role. But a lot of commercials, print jobs, things like that, I'll find new people on set. And I think that's a really great way to work on my networking. So whether that's connecting to other models, other actors, people on the production team, it's a really great way to meet new people, but also reconnect with those that you've met along the way as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Networking is one of the biggest things in this business, even with the casting directors. I mean, you do want to be on the good graces of a casting director, because you never know. They could need you for something a year from now, and you never heard anything from that one audition, but it helps you in the future. You never know. Um, Brian, what would you say about, Chicago I mean, you do, I'm assuming, some live auditions as well, right?
Not as many. No, I think since I've started, I've only done two. Everything else has been
Wow.
self-tape. But the work, I've done a lot of extra work on TV shows. I've
Yeah.
done some short films here and there, and I've done some like digital marketing modeling for different marketing
Oh,
companies. And I do notice, like, seeing a handful of people that I've like worked with before, or we have mutual acquaintances, so they might know someone I know. But it's just cool to see Chicago is just a little bit of its own niche market.
yeah.
While the pool still big and ever growing, there's just a different vibe and feel to it than you might expect from like Los Angeles or a New York market. I definitely feel a lot more support in getting the roles rather than I know I'm going to top you kind of mentality
Yeah.
that I've just seen the different jobs I've worked at. So that's just a
Yeah.
really unique and special factor about the media market in Chicago.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm interested to find out more, because we're going to have a couple more of your friends on at the end of the month who are in that Chicago market. Another great thing I know about Chicago is comedy is huge there, and even
Mhm.
I know that there's been a lot of comedians that came from there, and I don't know if it's the Upright Brigade, Citizens Brigade, or something. There's some groups that have Second City. No,
Mhm.
is it
Yeah.
Second City? Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a whole world of Chicago that if you don't know about it as one of our viewers, then you should definitely you can check it out and see. I'm interested myself, and it's not like you never know. I could end up going to Chicago, because in Cleveland I'm actually a lot closer to that
Mhm.
area, so you never know what could happen. Well, you guys, I'm sure that we could talk for hours on end about everything that we experience in this business. But you guys, thank you so much for taking the time today. Um, Oh, let's see. We had somebody on social media. Let's see. We keep promoting. We'll find some of that. Oh, okay. They're agreeing with us about the self tape and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not going anywhere. It's definitely something you want to focus on.
Yeah.
And if you are a JC student watching this, most likely after it's live, and you're wondering, like, what's one kind of takeaway piece of advice from some alumni, such as you guys, Kenny, what would you say would be a good piece of advice?
To just be a sponge and always work on self growth within your craft. I can just be watching a TV series that I watch, but I'm always picking up little human behavior and watching how an actor does certain things. And I would say to always go in with confidence, like you already got the part, like you're there for a reason. So walk in with that type of confidence.
That's great advice. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot of things people can do at home. Even I tell people, if you want to get used to reading a teleprompter, put on the captions on your TV and turn the voice off, and you
Yeah.
can read commercials. You can do all kinds of stuff. It's amazing. So that's great advice. How about you, Brian? What would you say would be a little tidbit of advice that you would give somebody just getting in now?
Absolutely. I would say take stock on yourself. What I mean by that is take the time to write down your goals, figure out which directions you want to go in this industry, in this career, and play to your strengths. Really see what works well for you in a performing capacity or in this industry, and how do you want to play to those strengths? How do you want to set yourself apart to be able to get the roles that you want to see?
That's great advice. Yeah, absolutely. And that goes along with, figuring out who you are with the authenticity. Like that's where authenticity comes from, is from your own knowing of these things. Megan, how about you? What would be your advice?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to be persistent. We've talked so much about how there's so many opportunities, there's so many different avenues of the entertainment industry. And I think it's really important to recognize that if you go in with confidence, eventually you will achieve what you're going for. So, you may receive that no a million times, but it takes that one time to open up a brand new door of a network of people or more opportunities in the future. So, just being persistent and always being confident that you'll achieve what you want to.
Yeah, I mean, it's not hard to find online videos of people who have made it really big saying, I had just decided I cannot take this anymore. I'm not doing any more auditions. I'm just going to do this last one and it's over. And then that's when I got the call for the movie that set off my career and all that. And I'm always talking about Jenna Ortega because people, I think, believe that Jenna Ortega was just like walking in the mall and then someone was like, "You're Wednesday," but she was a baby doing commercials. And so for 20 years, she learned how to get into character and all that so that when she did that role, she was able to really bring something to it. So yeah, there's so much. I appreciate so much you guys joining us today, giving us this, great information that somebody just starting out, as well as somebody who's already in the business, can really take away and move forward. Because in a sense, the pandemic kind of made us all start from the same kind of line. You know what I mean? Whether you've been in the business or not, you had to learn how to start doing self tapes all the time and this and that. And so it's an interesting place to be, and we're all a part of it. So thanks again, you guys, and thank you to everybody watching on all of our different media outlets there. And we'll see you next time on Tuesday the 30th when I have some more guests from Chicago joining us. Thanks again and have a great rest of your day. That's Kenny Smith, Brian Yeager, and Megan Bargell. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see.